Today, I'd like to respond to a really interesting question that was posted from one of my viewers. Hey, it's Dennis. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. This is a channel where I try to help people become better foremen, or if you're a journeyman and you'd like to promote to foreman, I try to teach you all the skills you need to make that happen so that you can dominate the field, raise your income, and impress your company. Succeed. Let's get into this thing. Okay, this video is going to be in response to a question that was posted on one of my videos by Florian, and here's what he said. Hello Dennis, as always I enjoyed your video. I was curious about your opinion on WorkFace Planning and what it brings to the table. Okay, so to be perfectly honest, I had never heard of WorkFace Planning and really didn't know what that was, so I jumped on the internet and did a little study, and now there's a limited amount of information that I was able to find on the internet about WorkFace Planning, but what I was able to find kind of fascinated me, and thank you so much, Florian, for bringing this to my attention and for posing the question. And there is some training that's available, although I haven't had time to really dig too deep into that. But let's take a look at a definition that I did find on the internet. Okay, so here's what it says. WorkFace planning is a process of organizing and delivering all the elements necessary for an installation work package. The latter being the frontline deliverable provided to crews on site for execution before the work is started. Why? This is meant to address the major field management system issue in traditional execution planning for mega projects, that is the delivery to foremen of big construction work packages and relying on field supervision to convert those work packages into a list of assigned field tasks. Okay, so the first thing that excites me about this is the use of these two words right here, field management, because I believe that field management is every bit as important as project management. And what I've seen in the past is companies are really good at organizing their projects in the office, but if they can't bridge that gap to the field and drive that information down to the field level, all they're going to do is sit and watch their project go in the toilet. Those people out in the field are the ones that get the work done and make the project a success or a failure. And the better you can drive that organization down to the field level, the more successful you're going to be. The next thing that jumps out to me is that this is designed to be implemented on mega projects, which I really disagree with, because I think that if you're going to have consistent success, you need to do this level of planning on all projects, and I think it's pretty much relative. In other words, it's cost-wise, hour per hour, is going to be the same or close on a smaller project as it is on a larger project. It's just less work on a smaller project than it is on a larger project, but it's still necessary. It's still the bridge that gets you from project management down to field management. Okay, so the definition of WorkFace planning is listed right here in the first sentence. WorkFace planning is a process of organizing and delivering all the elements necessary for an installation work package. Now, I did a little bit more reading on this website, and I was able to find one kind of sister website that had information. An installation work package is basically the way they're taking a large portion of the project and they're chunking it down into smaller portions that they can go into detailed planning on. I believe, if I remember correctly, they're talking about between 8 and 10 days worth of work for an installation work package. And so they chunk the project down into smaller pieces, and then they do detailed planning on that as far as material, safety, equipment, tool needs, labor, and they put this whole package together, a detailed package to deliver to the crew to say, this is your responsibility on this project, and here's all the information that you need to execute it. So the thing that really intrigued me and got me excited about this is that to me, it really appears to be the same thing that I preach on my own channel and the same thing that I've been doing for the last 30 years. So it's really exciting to see someone else using these practices, albeit on a much larger scale. But perhaps that's why you sent it to me, to kind of open my eyes to the fact that other people are practicing, these techniques as well. Of course, for my own projects, they're much smaller than mega projects, but the same principles still apply. And my tasks, or my installation work packages, as they call them, I call them tasks, are shorter in duration. They could be anywhere from hours to a week, depending on the size of the project and the particular task. But really appreciate you bringing this to my attention, because I think it validates everything that I'm saying here on this site. Now, I don't know if you agree with me on that as far as whether it mirrors what I'm teaching here, but let me go over just a few things or outline my entire process, and then I'd like to hear back from you whether you do agree or not. For me, the process starts with what I call a task integrated estimate, which is where I'm able to capture their equivalent of installation work packages. But it does a little more than that, because it also creates an individual material list and labor costs for each task or installation work package. The next thing I'm going to do is what I call pre-construction planning. I'm going to get together with my entire team, so project manager, estimator if I'm not doing that myself, purchasing agent, and at least someone who's going to be on site running the project, whether it's a superintendent or a foreman or both. And we're going to do a page turn on those drawings with the estimate in front of us, the task integrated estimate. We're going to go through it task by task, and we're going to discuss material choices so that we can value engineer based on material costs and installation costs. And we're going to go through that entire estimate. We're going to make notes, and then we're going to refine that estimate so that it resembles what we collectively agreed on before we ever set foot on site or build any portion of the project. And so I'm kind of assuming the role of WorkFace Planner, which is what they are discussing using to put these packages together. They have a special WorkFace Planner that puts all of these installation work packages together to hand off to the crew. This is where it starts for me in pre-construction planning. Once we vetted the estimate for both labor and material costs through value engineering, which would include choosing the correct material based on costs and installation time, as well as installation methods, I'm going to use that task integrated estimate to build an actual schedule. So my schedule is going to mirror my estimate task by task, and they're all going to be included in there so that we can work through from beginning to end the exact way the estimator envisioned, or in this case, the team envisioned the project being built. Next, I'm going to reassemble my team once the schedule is complete, and we're going to go through that schedule task by task, and we're going to create an action item list for each task so that we can put on there any material deliveries that need to be made, equipment, specialty tools, if we need additional labor, permitting, anything that has to happen before that task, or in some cases group of tasks, begins. Those all need to be checked off, and by listing them on the schedule, the project manager can log in via web access, take a look at the schedule, and make sure that all the action items are complete before the task begins. So if we have a task starting tomorrow and all of those action items haven't been checked off, that task is not ready to start. So he can apply pressure to the people in the field to get that taken care of before that set of tasks begin. From there, in my case, since I built proprietary software to make all of this happen and flow well, it's just a matter of point and click on that master schedule task for task and assigning them to either individual workers or crews of workers. And then through time tracking, tracking their progress against the estimated hours, so that on a daily basis I know in relation to the estimate how well I'm performing. And if I see problems along the way, I can react quickly to get out there and solve those problems before they have big impacts on the profitability of my project. Now, this entire process that we just discussed right here is what I teach in my advanced foreman training class. I actually give my students free access to the proprietary software that I, have spent years building and testing and refining. And we go through a mock project and go through this exact system. It's more elaborate than what we outlined here. I just kind of gave a broad outline of how I put together and manage my projects, just to kind of illustrate the parallels between what I do and WorkFace Planning. But I, as part of my research, I did check out your LinkedIn profile, and I am convinced that you're a very competent and accomplished guy, and have a lot of experience. So I would like to just extend an offer to you to send you over this material for my advanced foreman training and let you go through it along with access to the software. I'd really like to get your opinion on how it lines up with this WorkFace Planning, as well as how you feel it might help my students succeed in building more profitable projects and elevating themselves as far as being a successful foreman or superintendent in the field. So if that's something that interests you, there's the offers there for you, and just let me know and I'll hook you up and send you over all the information that you take a look. But really appreciate the question, Florian. It was really interesting for me to read this information and kind of take a look at I guess, what companies are using at the next level, which is, I've never even been on a mega project. So, interesting stuff. And thank you a lot. I really appreciate it.